Morning, bro. It is currently 9 minutes past 5 in the morning. Raining like heck. But there's a lesson I learned quite soon. Not quite soon, quite recently. That I think you would find quite useful. So, let's dive straight in. You, as a masculine young man, should never reveal everything to anyone. Now, I'll put this in context. Say you want to be let me think. Businessman, and you have a specific business strategy. Say you want to climb the rungs, you want to find a mentor, and you want to go about it a certain way. You can make up whatever situation you prefer, right? But by revealing all your intentions, you put power into the other party. Now, I may not be making a lot of sense with this, but I'll abbreviate later. Like you'll understand. Right? So I'll go through, and hopefully you understand better. So. When I say you should never reveal everything, you should always reserve part of yourself. I mean, you should never fully expose yourself, your full personality, your full essence of being to other people, never to someone fully, unless, and this is a very big unless, they are one of your most trusted brothers. And whether this is a literal brother that you're related to, whether it's your cousin or one of your best male friends, it's probably quite different, but, or your father, which is good, but one mistake I made, like, I am currently in Australia. I am working as a volunteer on a certain farm, and this place I'm looking to learn. One mistake I made is I shared too much about myself, and now I realise that whoever listens to what I say, that I do not think about what I say, I have revealed, how would you say? I've revealed a key part of my personality that I was meant to keep private. If that makes sense, I probably, maybe not. If not, I will explain it further. But I'm assuming if you're watching this, if you've just stumbled across this video, fair enough. Like, but if this video is relevant to you, you are masculine, you're a young man, and you seek to climb the rungs of social hierarchy, whether that's in business, in, I don't know, just the masculine hierarchy. Like, this is the context we're talking about here, but if you reveal everything, and this is like not to discourage you to not open yourself up to people, this is an essential part of being masculine, but you have to select who you do it with. So there's two paths that this can go down, and getting this wrong can be quite detrimental, and I have done both, and I can tell you the latter works much better in my experience. Obviously there are people who disagree with me, maybe they're more experienced, but hear me out for a second. So let's go. If you reveal all your intentions, all your personality, and all your thoughts to people you do not know and trust fully, they now have ammunition, whether this is to manipulate you, to discourage you, and this will weaken your strength of self. It will lessen how much you feel about yourself. You are grounded when you always keep a part of yourself secret. Well, not secret, but to yourself, so to speak. Like, this is something nobody can take away if you reveal this. You're completely vulnerable. And this is not a good thing. Like, bench. Sorry about that. Anyway. But say if you give your enemies ammunition to demoralise you and manipulate you, that's not the ideal at all. Like, this is the game of power we're always talking about. The game of power in business, in life, in social setting. Like, power is always present. And this is for you to navigate this path. At the end of the video, I'll have a book recommendation. And this is a book I highly recommend everyone reads. This is completely brilliant book. You may have heard of it, you may not, but go and check it out. I'll have the link below. So let's talk about the other path that you can take. So hypothetically, you meet someone you really admire. You want them to become your mentor. If you share everything, everything, even if you don't know them that well, say you watch their videos, consume their content, subscribe to their email newsletter, they hype themselves up in your eyes that they're a superpower. This may be the case that they are truly pure in their intentions, they want to help you. But just to be on the safe side, you don't want to tell them all your intentions. So say, I don't know, I'll give you my experience. or just an example of the context, I have a mentor whose videos I watched online, and I really idolised him. And this is not such a good thing to do. If you idolise people, you think, oh, this guy's better than me. It's not true. It's not true. Like, this guy has just accomplished one more thing than you in a certain area. He's not that special. Like the millionaire, for example. This analogy I really like. I think you may be able to relate to this. But hypothetically, you're driving down the road or walking down the road, I don't know, and you see a rich guy, supposedly rich guy, in a three-piece suit, and he's driving a Lamborghini, and he's got a hot blonde with big boobs, and she's wearing a tight dress, but the under all that, the backstory may be very different. He is maybe going bankrupt next week. His family are estranged. He's estranged from his family because he hasn't talked to them for so long, because he's tried to pursue material wealth instead of being so in touch with his family. This is a sad reality of most people who choose wealth to the extreme. Like, I'm sure you've seen this online. The extreme hustle culture is work 8 to 12 hours a day, don't go out, work weekends, sacrifice all social connection. Like, it's bullshit. Like, more to life than just chasing money. But I digress. But where was I? Yeah, I have a mentor who I'm staying with at the moment. That's why I'm here in Australia. And I suddenly realised he's not what he's like on camera. He's much different in real life. I'm so idolising him to the point where I think he's some sort of massive figure that I should soak up every word from. Not the case. I mean, I definitely need to soak up information from him because he is very accomplished in the space that I want to pursue. But as a human being, honestly, sometimes a bit of a dick. Like everyone. Everyone's a bit of a dick sometimes. But sometimes we see past this with people we admire. Then obviously I understand, like, if you haven't been in this situation, you're still quite a young guy, you haven't left the country you're born in, or you have but it hasn't been to quite far-flung places, or you haven't got much life experience, that's the word I was looking for. You say like you're 14, 15, 16 and you haven't experienced much of the world yet, I'm still finding this out. I'm 18. I'm still quite unworldly wise, and this is just me documenting my journey so far. So I don't know, what I'm saying is, be nonchalant about how you conduct yourself with those you admire. Don't fully open up to them unless you have real cause to. Like, you have a real bond with them. They have, for example, I don't know, met your family. So on, so on, so on. Like, you've got the real bond with them. But if you've only just met someone you admire, or a mentor, or someone you want to learn from, and this might be applied to other different walks of life. This could just be applied to new friendships, to girls. Like, never reveal all your intentions with girls. I'm sure you've heard this before. When I say intentions, that sounds a bit dodgy, actually. I would just say never reveal well, in this context, you would always say less than necessary. That's probably the best way to sum it up with girls, but let's move on from that. So, for example, since you haven't revealed everything, your ideas, maybe your philosophies of life, maybe just key aspects of your personality that not many people know about, but you are thinking, I've known this person 2 weeks, I really know them because I've watched their videos for a year or 2 years. Just treat them like he's a new person you've met, because people are very different to how they are on camera. In real life, imperfect. It's the only way I can say it. Everyone's imperfect. The Rock, we think, oh, he's alpha male. Like, many people say he's a dick sometimes. Like, he's just, even the biggest names in the world, like Beyonce, Jay-Z, like, I'm getting a bit off topic here, but they've done shit things. They've done shameful things, some of them, right? Not just to get to where they are, but I'm sure they've just done shit things to people in general, like speaking to them badly. Obviously, this is common sense, right? But I don't know. Anyway, so let's move on to strategy. So, hypothetically, you don't speak too much. You're in a conversation with someone, you don't speak too much. You listen more than you speak. And this is a good thing, I'll tell you why. if you're familiar with Robert Greene, he says in one of his most famous books, The 48 Laws of Power, one of the laws is specifically, I'll read it, and I quote, always say less than necessary. Always say less than necessary. Powerful stuff. And this is very useful. I'll tell you why. You don't say or input much to the conversation, you just listen to what the other person tells you. And since you don't share your ideas with them, there's two things, good things that can happen here. So, say you are discussing something that is quite relevant to both of you. I'm assuming since you're having this conversation, you have like mind, and they challenge your ideas, not because you verbally mention them, but because since you're quite similar personalities, probably have similar viewpoints, similar ideas, and this person has a contrasting idea to one that you formulated, say about, I don't know, attracting women, about building businesses, about the best website to build, to host your new dropshipping business, about the best way to get a domain name, etc, etc, etc. If this person seems more worldly wise than you, you can take their advice, or you can take it into account and then do further research. But do not mention that I have done it this way, this way, this way, because it keeps the ball in your court. In your court. And since you have not said more than necessary, you have not revealed your ideas through speaking, you can edit your ideas, you can challenge them mentally instead of out loud, or having someone else challenge them for you. Because usually, someone else challenges them for you, they will you will rationalize. If their viewpoints are extreme, you'll rationalize why they say this. If it's particularly unforgiving, you'll think, yeah, they're wrong because they're saying this, they're just too, etc, etc, etc. Now, maybe I'm not making sense, but if I'm not, let me know. Anyway, since you haven't manifested your ideas into concrete strategies, you can always reevaluate, and if you like, indirectly challenge them mentally if questioned. That probably makes more sense. Again, you need to speak less than necessary. Listen more than you speak. This is a great advantage. Most of the greatest businessmen on the planet, they ask more questions than speak about themselves. I recall I think it was a entrepreneur, maybe it was Cody Sanchez, or someone along them lines, quite a high level entrepreneur, and she had a dinner with Warren Buffett. And she said she had a whole list of questions written down that she wanted to ask Warren Buffett. None of them questions went answered. You know why? Because Warren Buffett asked all the questions. I mean, one of the richest investors on the planet, maybe we should take some advice from him, right? Because it's free information. You have the biggest advantage when you ask questions. You are just collecting information for free. Don't even have to pay for it. Like, you got access to a person who knows a lot about a subject. Ask them questions, because that will further you so much. So much. Anyway. As I said before, if you're party to a conversation that includes challenges to your ideas, you can absorb the information and reevaluate. When others simply just witter on or challenge them directly, therefore that person may not like them because they're challenging their own beliefs directly. And this is basic human psychology, but if you challenge someone directly, they will see it as a direct confrontation. This is a build up to physical fight, or this would have been like 10,000 years ago when we're still running around with like clubs or axes and sticks and stones, living in caves and that. But this is very deeply ingrained in our human evolutionary timeline, so keep this in mind. Others would witter on or challenge, you keep silent and just reevaluate. If you don't agree, don't say. Just say, okay. Easy. Anyway, you should do this especially with those you don't expect as well. And this is an essentially very crucial piece of information, because those you trust most may strike the hardest in the inner workings of your psyche. Say there's someone you really confide in, really trust, and you may have known them a long time, one of your best friends. Do not put too much trust in your friends. And this may seem detrimental, but one of the biggest 48 laws of power that I need to mention is never put too much trust in your friends. Use your enemies. Now, what do I mean by this? Friends, they say, for example, friends, they know where they are at with you, therefore they don't need to earn your trust. Therefore makes them difficult to control. And this is purely from a business perspective, but maybe social as well, right? But say if a former enemy of yours, you befriend him, he now has to live up to your expectation. He has to, excuse me, he has to show that he is trustworthy. He has to work hard on that. Therefore, because you are expecting that he will let you down, and if he is worth his salt, then he will work hard to make sure that this belief is struck off. That he will be probably more trustworthy than some of your long-term friends. And this is only if you've really made up with this person. I'm gonna say maybe for some of you it's unrelatable, but a business colleague you've been in business with for a long time, he has the biggest opportunity to stab you in the back, or a business partner or something. However, you befriend a business competitor and you take him under your wing, so to speak. You then realise he is more trustworthy than some of your close business associates, because he's got a lot more to prove, and that's what makes him safer. Whilst those who do not have anything to prove to you, they could be working in the shadows behind your back. Profound stuff, eh? Anyway. Now, when I say don't reveal everything to everyone, obviously, you've got to reveal it to somebody, right? It's common sense. However, you should be very select with who. So, in my context, I reveal a lot of what I'm thinking to my brother, my older brother. And maybe some of you don't have a great relationship with your brothers, your siblings, maybe your fathers. In that case, like rule of thumb, I always think if there is a trusted family member you want to speak to about this, go for it. Because family is going to be a constant. Family will always be there. And obviously this isn't the same for everyone, but if you have a good connection with your family, use it. And I think it's one of my biggest mistakes is growing up, I had a rubbish relationship with my brother. Rubbish. We were contrasting characters in every aspect of the imagination. I resented him for a long time until I realised I need to see his point of view. We are different personalities. I am more quiet and reserved. He's more flamboyant, extroverted. And this is why we disagreed on many things, but now I'm learning to build up confidence, to be more masculine. And since that, by working hard as well, by doing a physical job, by going to the gym, by grinding, I think part of the reason that we get along better is I've earned his respect. He sees me as a man now instead of a little boy. So this is a word of advice for you. If you want to be respected by your family, by your brothers, maybe your cousins, uncles, put in the work. Put in the work. Yeah. Respect is more important in this situation than possibly anything else. Because once people respect you, then they will admire you, they will love you more, and they will confide in you more. Obviously this gets more apparent as you get older, but this is something to consider. Like a cheat code, as you will. Anyway. If you're telling close male friends, and these preferably are male friends, because male friends are a bullshit detector most of the time. If they are masculine, truly, they want the best for you. And the beautiful thing about having masculine male friends is they can give you love without sheltering you from life and its unniceties, if that's even a word, unniceties. So it's challenges. They can love you, but always show you how to live at your edge. Never be on your edge, never below your edge, or just behind your edge, but always on your edge. And that is, when I say edge, I mean that zone where you are just a little uncomfortable with where you are at, but slowly you get used to it, and then you move on to the next part, and that's your edge, then the next part, then the next part, then the next part, and you progress. And then eventually, who knows? Anyway, tell your brothers, your most trusted male friends, parts of your strategy. And this is just for strategy. Like, if you're looking to confide in them emotionally, and you feel these are real worthwhile individuals, you have to look out if they're masculine. When I say masculine, they don't backchat, they don't gossip. They will talk shit to you in front of your face, but when asked by other people, if you're not present, they will heap praise upon you. And this is a trait of a masculine brother. Hopefully you can take some advice from this. Anyway, there's one more point, and then the rest of your day is your own. Anyway, but tell your brothers parts of your strategies, never the whole thing. And then get selected rights from each of them. This is the best way to go. Anyway, to conclude this video, one of the greatest books that has helped me learn this is The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Now, there are two versions of this book you can get. One is the large book which includes the detailed stories of like the examples. It includes a lot of famous historical figures, Machiavelli, for example. And many others like Cesare Borgia. If you don't know who these are, it's definitely worth buying the larger copy because it's a history lesson as well as a lesson in power. But if you are somewhat more accomplished in general knowledge, or you just don't want to read the massive book, I don't blame you. There is a smaller book, like a handbook, and it includes all the 48 laws of power with the key teachings. So I'll have them linked below. And how this video applies to the 48 laws of power, there are 3 key laws that I learnt from this book that are applicable to this video, and these are: conceal your intentions, always say less than necessary, and never put too much trust in your friends, use your enemies. Hopefully that helps, bro. Have a great day. See you later.